Good Thursday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. It's a presentation of the Bryan County Patriot. I am glad that you are along with me tonight. Hey, it is a good week, and I believe it's getting better all the time. So thank you for being here and watching tonight. Already want to give a shout out to Bryan as soon as he comes on. I'll check to see that really pretty quickly. But shout out to Bryan. You've set your alarm, so you are along for the broadcast, so I appreciate that. Listen, we have good news tonight. It reminds me of the Dukes of Hazzard years and years ago. Did anyone watch the Dukes of Hazzard? Okay, Roscoe P. Coltrane would come in, and sometimes he would look at Boss Hogg, and he'd say, good news, good news. So I want to talk about some good news tonight. I believe that is exactly what we have. Now, I'm flying solo tonight. I know that we should have a guest on tomorrow night, and actually have a couple of really, I believe, good guests coming up in the upcoming week, and I think that you're going to enjoy those folks as well. But let's go ahead and get into what we're talking about tonight, and it is good news. If you watched what the president said a little bit earlier today in the press conference, he was talking about the fact that we would be looking, hopefully, to open up the United States, and we are headed that direction. Now, he didn't say that it would necessarily open up tomorrow. He did say, however, that there were some states that were ready, he believed, to open up tomorrow if that were the case. Now, again, he didn't say that, so let's not quote something that didn't actually happen, all right? We're not going to be like most of the mainstream media. We're just going to do things like we do it right here in Bryan County, little old Bryan County, right? Flyover country. Well, that's how we do things here. We also walk in wisdom here. We also walk with discretion here, and we also walk without fear. See, I got that done in the beginning and not at the end tonight. So anyway, follow along. Thanks, Bryan. Glad you're here. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about some good news, okay? It is day 21 of not a lockdown, but a shutdown. So if anyone's starting to get weary of the quarantine, yes, we're into at least day 21 of this. And that's since the state ordered shutdown that happened, well, 3 weeks ago, since the first positive case came about and was confirmed in Bryan County. And so we became one of the counties that had to go under the safer at home edict, and many quote unquote non-essential businesses were asked to close the doors for a little while. Now, as of tonight, the U.S. has passed 667,000 positive confirmed cases of, and I will say it now, YouTube, COVID-19 coronavirus. And if I'm not going to get shown on the YouTube algorithm, well, there we go. We're still on Facebook, though. Oklahoma currently is at 2,263. That is 31st in the country in number of positive cases. There have been 131 deaths due to complications from COVID-19 in Oklahoma, and that is 26th in the country. A fifth case was reported yesterday in Bryan County. Unfortunately, I think that that actually, some people are excited about that because it shows that there's another number and that number is growing here in Bryan County. But we'll talk about what that number means, at least relative to Oklahoma and where Oklahoma is relative to the rest of the country. So let's go ahead and get into the good news here really quickly. All right, let me bring up this web page. And if you can see that there, it is from the State Department of Health. Now, I posted a story a little bit earlier today talking about the fact that there are now 1,200, and it's actually, that number is top 1,200, as of April 15th, and you see it right there on the picture in front of you. You can look it up. The link to this page from the Oklahoma State Department of Health is on the website at this story, where it talks about 1,200, more than 1,200 people have recovered from COVID-19. Okay? Now, that is actually more than half of the number of people who have been diagnosed or at least tested positive for a COVID-19 virus within the state of Oklahoma. More than 54% of those who have been diagnosed or tested positive for coronavirus, COVID-19 virus in the state of Oklahoma, more than 54%, nearly 55% have recovered already. And that's good news. I would think that this would be a story that would hit Facebook and hit Twitter and would just spread. I would think this would be something that would be huge. And I've seen this on local social media. By the way, hi, Brent. How you doing? Kenny, thanks for joining tonight. I appreciate you as well. You would think this would be a story that would just go like wildfire, because I've seen on local social media over and over again, well, do we know if people have recovered? You know, they're talking about all the folks who have been testing positive. Has anyone recovered? Do we know anything about it? Do we know what city they're in? Do we know who they've come in contact with? Well, now you have a story out there. 54% as of yesterday of those who have been diagnosed with COVID-19 in Oklahoma have already recovered. And the definition for recovery, according to the story, was that you've gone 14 days since the initial diagnosis or since it was reported, and that you haven't died and you're not in the hospital. So that's the definition for recovered, at least according to this report. We'll get down to it here in just a moment. That's good. That also means that at least one or two, I believe, possibly a third, but at least one or two of the 5 reported cases in Bryan County will have already recovered. Now, no, you're right, Brian. You're not going to see these stories as much with the mainstream media because there's an agenda. And I want to talk about that maybe a little bit later on, but let's just go ahead and go with these numbers for right now. ICU beds available in the state of Oklahoma. This is as of April 15th, which was yesterday. Hi, Linda. Thanks for being on tonight. 46% of the ICU beds are still available. Have we reached critical mass in Oklahoma? No, we have not. Of the 1,028 ventilators available, 839 of them are still available, nearly 82%. Have we reached critical mass in Oklahoma? No, we have not. The average days of personal protective equipment for our folks who are working in the hospital, now some of them are less, some of them are more. The average amount of days to have personal protective equipment such as face shields, gowns, gloves, masks, you name it, 13 days average throughout all the hospitals in the state of Oklahoma. Let's continue to move on down. Here's the good news. As of yesterday, there were 2,263 reported cases, 900 of them for sure active cases that we know of. Now, I know the number today is a little bit higher. We can get to that a little bit later on. But as of yesterday, 2,263 reported cases. There have been 123 deaths from COVID-19, 15 that were reported yesterday, unfortunately. But 1,240 cases of recovery, including 85 new recoveries yesterday. And here's that definition. If you want to look at it right here, here's that definition. Currently not hospitalized or deceased and 14 days after the onset or the report. That's good news. That is so cool. Man, we have recovery for this. And we've been talking about this here on BCP Live since the outset of this program. We should have hope. We should not walk in fear. We need to be having hope and look ahead to see what can happen on the other side. Already 54% of people who have been diagnosed with this have recovered. How cool is that? That is really something else. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining tonight. Glad you're with me. And you know what? It is good news. And I saw you post about that a little while ago. It is good news. And it's good to hear the good news. That is incredibly cool. It is sad that there have been some deaths, but it's really cool that there is good news. Let's look down this a little bit farther. And again, if you're wondering about this particular page, the link to this PDF is at BryanCountyPatriot.com, and the story today is talking about COVID-19 recovery. So if you look that up, you want to find this and look through it for yourself, please go ahead and do just that. Again, these numbers are as of April 15th, which was yesterday. Now, check this out. 510 patients were hospitalized. Out of 2,263, only 510 patients were hospitalized. That is 22.5% of all of the COVID-19 positive cases in all of Oklahoma. Only 510 were hospitalized ever. Not just the ones that are there now, but the ones who were there, the ones who have already recovered, the ones who are currently there, the ones who were there and who did pass, 510 total ever. Diagnosed doesn't include those asymptomatic. You're exact. The asymptomatic people who got through it and didn't even know they were diagnosed. That's exactly right. So we can get to the mortality rate a little bit later on and talk about that too, because that's important. Notice this also, and this is a big deal right here. Check this out. Of the 123 deaths that were a result of COVID-19 in the state of Oklahoma, 67.5% of deceased had at least one comorbidity: diabetes, heart disease, circulatory disease, chronic lung disease, liver disease, or renal failure. That means 83 of the 123 that were positive cases that did die, and it was COVID-19 related, 83 had something else going on that was looking to help accelerate that passing. It's amazing. We don't need to be scared. We don't need to walk in fear. Now, there are still people who are under investigation at the hospital. Hey, Paula. Hey, Robert. Thanks for joining in tonight. 64 are still in ICU. There are people who are being tested. Check this out right here. Testing supplies available in the state of Oklahoma. This is as of yesterday, and we'll get to this number again for today's numbers too. Nearly 40,000 testing supplies are available within the state of Oklahoma, and there are a significant number that are right here in Bryan County. And if you are symptomatic and you have the 100.4 degree fever and you feel like you need to go in and be tested, then all you have to do is call the Bryan County Health Department. Hey, we have that number, 580-924-4285, 580-924-4285. I think we can all say it together at this point. 580-924-4285. You have to have an appointment, but they do curbside testing at the Bryan County Health Department at 580-924-4285. And tests are available. There's not a lack of testing that's available. Now, there were limited supplies in the early going, but even since then, only 5 people have tested positive in all of Bryan County, and there have been tests. On one day, there were 35 tests, not 40 as it was initially reported. There were 35. All 35 came back negative. And I know sometimes people see that as something that is suspicious. It happens. You want suspicious, then go ahead and look up to New York, where they bumped up the number yesterday, bumped up the number 3,700 for 3,700 people that were found at home, and they didn't have a good diagnosis. None of them were tested. They just presumed all of them to be COVID-19. That's a suspicious number. That's 3,700. That's more than 100 times what the number of tests were here, 35. Just saying. So we look through here and we find these are some interesting statistics, and you can run through here, and there's a whole lot more. I don't want to get into all of these, but the link to this is on the story today. Thanks, Brent. The link to this is on the story today in the Bryan County Patriot. Now, let's go ahead and let's look at one more here. I don't have a long show tonight. It's already gone 13 minutes. I say I don't have a long show. I can talk for a long time, so please forgive me. Okay. By the way, there's Brian's post. Okay. Keep that up there. Let's look at this website. Sorry, sometimes it takes me a little bit to get to them. I'm getting faster at this, I think. I'm getting better. I do like StreamYard. I enjoy this. Now, these are going to be a little bit tougher to see, and I couldn't zoom in as much on this. So let me just tell you, let's go ahead and get started. Let's bring it up to the top of the page here and get started with this, because I was studying the numbers. This is the page that is just off of the state's website. If you've ever been to the Oklahoma website, it is ok.gov. ok.gov. It's really easy to get to, ok.gov. And at ok.gov, you can link to this site, which is coronavirus.health.ok.gov. Okay, it's long, drawn out. But once you get it, you get the URL in there. Usually your internet browser will remember it so you can go back to it. Now, I want to show you this because this has actually changed today. They've revamped this entire page They have a lot more information on there. Some of it is some that we went over just a moment ago. Some of it's a little bit different. So if you've gone to this page looking for this, because people on local social media that have come out with statistics statewide have been getting their statistics from this page. So let's look right here. Right now, as of today, of course, yesterday's numbers finished with 2,263. As of today, the number, and this is as of 7 o'clock this morning, the number is 2,357. So these are the availabilities in the state of Oklahoma. Now, these numbers right here, and again, if you want to go to these, talking about as of even up to right now, availabilities for ICU beds, for medical surgery beds, operation room beds, pediatric beds, ventilators available, collection kits available. Those are the testings, and we can go on down. You can look at those a little bit more. Now, here's the availability of all of these things per county. Okay, per county. So let's go to Bryan County. Here we are right here. In Bryan County, at Alliance Health, because that's the only hospital in Bryan County, 9 adult ICU beds are currently available. 7 operating room beds, 6 negative flow room beds. And a negative flow room is it's a room where the ventilation is set up to where you're not cross-contaminating with the air over here in another room. So that's what the negative flow rooms are. That's a basic description. If you work for the hospital and I didn't do that justice, please forgive me. Pediatric rooms, 10 of those available. Pediatric ICU beds, none. But anyway, we have enough ICU beds. Ventilators available in Bryan County, 14. Days worth of personal protective equipment available in Bryan County, 30 days. Collection test kits, 402 in Bryan County at Alliance Hospital as of today. So if you need to be tested, or you feel like you need to be tested because you feel like that you're symptomatic in some way, those are all available to you. There is not a shortage of tests right now. Now, if 403 people show up at the Bryan County Health Department tomorrow looking for a test, I will be absolutely amazed. But there you go. So the testing is there. It is there for all of you. And again, this is coronavirus.health.gov, or excuse me, coronavirus.health.ok.gov. Let's go back and let's scroll down a little bit more and see a little bit more of this information as of today. Okay, get through here. Well, no, okay, there we are. Here we are. I started at the bottom instead of the top. That was my fault. It's a little bit tougher to scroll on this one than it is my MacBook. I have my MacBook over here too, and I work with both computers, and that one scrolls a little bit easier than this HP. Okay, so, and Brian, okay, last time you got tested only if you showed symptoms. That's true. And you still have to be symptomatic. They're gonna triage you over the phone. If you call in for a test, the Bryan County Health Department told me they're going to go ahead and triage you over the phone and find out if you are symptomatic. So if you're asymptomatic, I don't know. You're not going to get tested, likely, I guess. And maybe you're going to make it through without even knowing it. I mean, there's that too. So Oklahoma summary, 357 cases. There were 131 deaths, 8 since yesterday. 4% daily growth, 1% since yesterday. And we've actually slowed that curve a little bit. Now, if you look through here, confirmed cases by county, here's Bryan County right in here, and it has a few cases. Confirmed cases by city, and here's where you're looking at Durant right here. Okay, and we could probably zoom in on that map, figure out exactly where we are. Okay, here are cases by county. Look down, Bryan is number 22 out of 32 counties here on this map. But Joey, there are 77 counties in Oklahoma, and you're exactly right. That means that 45 counties in Oklahoma either don't have anyone with COVID-19 or they haven't been tested. Now, likely it's a mixture of both. It is likely that there haven't been enough tests in some of the counties, although they're testing 60 testing sites in the state of Oklahoma, 60 testing sites, and they're all over the state. But 45 are yet to have reported one single positive case. Now, is Oklahoma ready to start back up? I'm not saying yes or no. That's a legitimate question to you. Anyway. All right, we're looking here, and watch this. Here is new cases over time. And it looks as though a peak may have been reached. Now, we're not going to jump the gun. Not going to celebrate too soon. But just by the graph, okay, we're looking here now. And they talk about flattening that curve. Here we are. We're starting to flatten the curve right there. It's not going up at that steep rate at which it was going up. Okay, there you go. By the way, here is, it says now 1,313 recovered. That's 73 more since yesterday. That's pretty cool. That is really, really cool. That is a significant statement. Now, you can see some more other things here. More people have recovered. Looks like more females have recovered than males at this point in time. This right here, I found this to be an interesting chart because it gives COVID-19 by race. And I think there was a graphic up here before by race and ethnicity. Well, right now, 71% of those who have tested positive are white. That pretty much lines up almost exactly with the race breakdown in the state of Oklahoma, period. I think they're 70 or 71% white in Oklahoma anyway. So I'm not sure what that means as to why that's an important thing, because it's almost proportional exactly to the breakdown of race according to the population in the state. Now, here we go. And this is something that people have been asking over and over again on social media. So here's the answer. Okay. It's been saying there have been 5 in Bryan County that have tested positive. Well, what city do they live in? Well, 4 of them came from Durant. 1 of them came from Other. You know that town in Bryan County called Other? No, I'm just kidding. It looked like on the map that it was north of Durant, the little blip that was ahead of that larger blip for 4 people by city. It looked like it was north of Durant. It's tough to speculate, so I'm not going to. I'll leave it to you to speculate on that. But if it was within Bryan County and it was north of Durant, it doesn't leave a lot of room for too many other towns in Bryan County. Now, are we going to get to know the names of these people? Only if they post it on social media themselves. Because there are HIPAA laws that are out there. Now, don't get me wrong. There was a county in Illinois a couple of days ago that would not give the names to the police. The police went to court, and the judge overruled the health department and made them give the names of the people who had been diagnosed positive to the police. This happened in Illinois. So I hope that doesn't happen here. But anyway, you guys laughing at me. Anyway, hey, Jamie, glad you're on. It's not all about me. I'm just kidding. All right. So we've seen that 4 from Durant, 5 overall, 1 in Bryan County that wasn't from Durant. We've already determined that according to the definition of recovery, which we have back here, according to the definition of recovery for Oklahoma.gov, where is that report? Recovery, let me read this to you, but you saw it a little bit earlier. It says that recovery is defined as currently not hospitalized or deceased and 14 days after the onset or the report, which means at least 1, because the first one was reported 21 days ago. So at least 1, probably 2, and I want to go out on a limb and say maybe 3 have already recovered, at least according to this. We know that 2 more have been reported within the last week. So there is that. So there you go. That's the positive news, though. More than 1,200 people have recovered, and it looks like when today's numbers get in there, it'll be more than 1,300 have recovered. These are the numbers that need to be posted also. It's not to say, and it's this is not to take away from the seriousness of this disease. It is not to take away from the seriousness that we need to take and how we need to handle ourselves and take care of our business. But we need to open this thing back up. We cannot stay this way forever. The cure cannot be worse than the disease. We need to take care of our business. Should we open up tomorrow? I don't know. Should we open up next week? I don't know. Somebody in Oklahoma City is going to have to make this decision. Bryan, you're exactly right. I'm going to go ahead and post that right there because you need to see this. This is right. Recovery. We need to be talking about the recovery, and we also need to talk about our economic recovery as well. Now, are we doing things that we need to be doing in Bryan County? Yes, we are. I went to pay a bill today, and praise God, I could pay that bill. I went to pay a bill today, and the office in which I went to pay the bill, normally there are a couple of seats that are sitting there when there's a line that's a little bit longer, so you can take a seat and rest for a moment and not get in a hurry. The seats were gone, and in the place were little yellow lines, and they were 6 feet apart, and only so many people could go into the lobby. It's likely that's going to be the case for a while. And there was a plexiglass partition that was set up between the back where they receive the money and the front. And you're seeing this in a lot of places now. And it's likely there's going to be some permanency to these things. I think that I was told that it was hung from the ceiling with a couple of wires, and it looked nice. It actually was well done. I thought it looked classy even, but they're going to encase it, put it in. It's going to be there permanently. And you know what? We're taking care of business. We have been social distancing. We have been shaking hands with our elbows like we don't know what we're doing. Okay? We've been doing a lot of things like that. We don't hug in public anymore. We've done what is necessary. Now, we can keep doing what is necessary, and we can reopen some things very soon. I'm telling you, the Harvard numbers that were presented yesterday that we social distance till 2022, I don't see folks in Oklahoma, Texas, or anywhere in the Southeast doing that till 2022. No, you're right. I agree, Bryan. We don't have to open everything back up. We bring things in gradually. We bring the country back in gradually. And we keep on walking in wisdom, using discretion, not fearing. We bring things back. It may take just a little bit, but we don't walk in fear. And there's still too much fear. And that's what's driving so much of this. And that is what you're seeing on the national level. And I submit to you, and whether you like the president or not, I submit to you the reason that the many networks are not airing his entire press conferences anymore is because he offers hope, and they don't have the opportunity to cut what he says into little sound bites that they can make and use and tear him down and keep you afraid. They want it to say what they want it to say. And I'm here to tell you that's not right. So let's move on. You're exactly right. Thank you. I agree. All right. I gave you the Bryan County Health Department number. Do we all know this now? 580-924-4285. I'm going to ask this again, and I'll give Bryan a chance to answer on this if somebody else too, by the way. 5 freedoms. What 5 freedoms? This is the school teacher in me. What 5 freedoms does the First Amendment provide for? What 5 freedoms does the First Amendment provide for? You need to know this. You really do need to know this. While you're looking that up or putting that down or whatever the case may be, the headline today that stuck out to me, and again, I enjoy reading these headlines to find out what I'm going to have to get through in a day. Wired, this headline from Wired. What does COVID-19 do to your brain? Okay, so now it's not enough that COVID-19 attacks your circulatory system and other parts of your body and just beats you down. Now it's affecting your brain too. So anyway, I don't know. You might say it's trying to affect I don't think it's affecting my brain. I really, really don't. Okay, 2 last things. I gave the good news first, so let's give this and get this out of the way. Bill Gates is calling for, yes, he's already been talking about all the vaccinations and stuff, and we can't go on unless we have a vaccination. And I talked about this before, vaccination cards. This may become something that comes up in the future. I think he called them immunity certificates. And I think he'd like there to be digital certificates too. And I don't want a chip in a vaccine, or I don't want a tattoo on me with some kind of ink to tell somebody that I've had anything. I don't want that on me or in me. I just have to say this about Bill Gates, and I appreciate that maybe he has some good ideas. I don't want to throw down on anything, but I do want to say this. Number one, Bill Gates is not a doctor. Number two, Bill Gates is not an elected official. And to my knowledge, Bill Gates is not an appointed official either. So why do we keep airing everything that he says? Oh, yeah, Bill Gates has a lot of money. Okay, well, there we go. That could be it. I realize I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. I don't want to be a doctor, nor do I even want to play one on TV. And I'm not an elected official, and I'm not even an appointed official either. But I'm not trying to digitally certify everyone either. Religion, speech, assembly, petition for government, and really? You're so close. You're so close. Okay, what am I? What am I? Don't, you know what? I put that on a T, didn't I? I'm the media. Freedom of the press. There you go. Freedom of the press. That's all right. Brian, I'm with you. I am with you. You got 4 there. All right. Here's the question. And again, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, Brent. Question is, here, let me put this up here so everyone can see it. If there is a drug with zinc that can help someone recover in 12 hours, why are we overly stressed about all this? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Because zinc does, that's what it does. It breaks down the viruses, doesn't it? I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Let's keep that question up there for a little while. Maybe somebody has an answer on that. Running out of time here. Let me submit this one to you really quickly because we passed the half-hour mark. So thank you for those who have stuck it out with me tonight here on BCP Live. And I'm going to leave that question up there. So where is it? There it is. There it is. Right there. Okay. It's been reported yesterday and today more and more about the fact that the COVID-19 virus, coronavirus, originated in a lab in China. Now, of course, there's one national network that's been pushing this, and I respect, actually, when I saw who did this story, because it was Bret Baier who did this story when I saw it first, and I respect Bret Baier a lot because he's not just commentary. And I get, look, on the Bryan County Patriot website, I give news. This is my opportunity for commentary. Bret Baier is not a guy who does a lot of commentary. So he reported this. So I respect that. But there are starting to be others that are putting this out there. And I want to submit to you this as we wrap up our time tonight. When you see some national networks bringing stories out at certain times that it surprises you, why didn't they bring this story out before? They probably knew it. If they didn't, they're not good journalists. If they knew it and they didn't tell us soon enough, that's journalistic malpractice too. They're hiding things from us, or there's clearly agenda. And that's what you have to ask yourself. I've come to this conclusion wow, that really affects the color. It's a webcam. It's a very good webcam. I like it a lot, but it's not a straight up camcorder or anything else. I need to get some better equipment. Man, that's funny. Okay. Anyway, what's the motivation? There you go. Ask yourself this question when you see a story on whatever your favorite national news network is. And your favorite may not be mine. My favorite may not be yours. We may like the same networks. There are 2 or 3 of them. And there's actually a couple of, one of them that I can only find on YouTube, and another one that is kind of down from the upper tier. Here are the national networks, and here's another one. There are a few of them I like, but I ask yourself, what is the motivation behind the timing of the story? And if you can answer that question, then you go a long way as to knowing a lot about what's going on. So it's a good question, Brent. Appreciate that. Hey, we're going to get these 5 freedoms of the First Amendment down. I know we are. And again, school teacher in me keeps coming out. That's okay. We need to know these. These are things you should know. There are things that you learn in school that you use every day. You know, they always told us, at least when I was in school, I was a child of the 70s, teenager of the 80s. I graduated in 89. And, you know, someone would ask, well, why do we need to know so much about math? And teachers would say, well, it's not like you're going to carry a calculator around with you in your pocket, except that nowadays we carry, calculators around with us in our pockets. But there are some things that you do need to know. And so I want to help with that, and maybe we can learn some things together, okay? Thanks for watching BCP Live tonight. Thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight, to Bryan and to Brent. Let me run through the list here really quickly. And Michael, hey, Michael, thanks for being in tonight, as well as Travis. Oh, my goodness, Travis, if you are still watching this, man, my friend, I appreciate you very, very much. Jamie and Janice, Don, Kevin, hey, Kevin. Thanks for stopping in tonight. Paula and Susan, Linda, Rhonda, man, I appreciate you joining in too. Talked about Kenny and Bryan as well. And Bryan's been setting an alarm so that he gets here on time. Oh, you know what? You are exactly right. I can't do that. I read right past that. We have a lot of great sponsors here. And I'm going to give credit to Bryan tonight, who's not a sponsor, by the way, but he's just been been a great friend of the show, especially this week too. A lot of sponsors here on the Bryan County Patriot, and without the sponsors and the advertisers, and I couldn't do this. I mean, the obituaries that we post for free as a community service on the Bryan County Patriot on the website, and this is done because of the fact that we have incredible advertisers, we have incredible sponsors, and those include Alliance Mortgage Group, Castile's Tire, DW in Calera, Friends of the Library. Robbie, I appreciate you guys. Holmes Coffee Murray Funeral Home, Modern Abstract, Kaimishi Technical Center, Shelburne Heating and Air, Texoma Engraving, and Woodman Life. And I'm going to give all those folks another shout out on tomorrow night's show too, because they need that. JC Rain, I love you too. Thanks for watching tonight. Hey, I appreciate all of you. God bless you all. We're going to do this again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. And hopefully we're going to have some more good news to share with you as well. Be wise, use discretion, do not walk in fear, and have a great, great night. There we are. We have a county full of awesome businesses. God bless you all. Talk to you later.